When through your business money does go, stop the leaks with CRO.
Hey guys, Ken Ott here with Metacake. As you know, we're an e-commerce growth team and we help some of the biggest brands in the world fix and scale their conversion funnel. We are right in the middle of our series on CRO, or conversion rate optimization, and we've discussed how it's the #1 way to quickly improve literally every other marketing activity, because it improves, you guessed it, your conversion rate, or the percentage of visitors that purchase from your store. If you're having trouble understanding what CRO is and how it can help you, think about it as an opinion equalizer, because we can hear what the customer wants. There are no more hippos here. Highest paid person's opinions are not involved. Or insurance on your marketing spend. Or just that voodoo magic thing that makes you a giant freaking buttload of money. If done right, of course. However you understand it, the point is, if you're not taking advantage of it, you need to start. Yesterday would have been a great time, but the next best time would be right now. Or now, or now. Just do it. Not sure where to start? Keep watching and get our Dr. Seuss inspired book at metacake.com/CRO. Or you can reach out to us and one of our operators will be standing by. Anyway, today we're going to be walking through the steps in a CRO strategy, which we mentioned in our last video. And we're going a level deeper on each one. So grab your pens, pencils, keyboard, and whatever else, and let's go. Or just check out the notes below. Step 1, set a baseline. It's time to scrutinize your analytics. You can't manage what you can't measure. Remember that Google Analytics code that some developer in your company added to your site at some point in the past and that you haven't really looked at since? You may log into it from time to time to look back at your sales for a month or deliver a performance report to your boss. Well, it's time to give that whole thing a good once-over and make sure it's actually tracking accurately. We're talking everything from the technical side of how that blob of code is implemented on your website to the settings in your Google Analytics dashboard. For instance, make sure advanced e-commerce tracking is on. Make sure key events like add to cart and purchases are being tracked. And all that spam traffic that you're getting but you may not know about is being filtered out. That's right. Turns out traffic-to-cash.xyz may not be sending potential customers your way after all. Aww. What we need is to make sure we have a great idea of who our customers are and the path they're taking on our website. Why? Well, we'll discuss that in our next step. Step 2, identify holes in your funnel. Think about a fuel pump hose. Even a tiny hole in one place means a less powerful flow of gasoline going into your giant Hummer, moped, or electric car. And by the way, that would be a very dangerous situation. Now think about if that fuel hose was filled with money and that hose looked like Swiss cheese and the car that you were trying to fill with money was actually your business. Having a leaky marketing funnel is kind of like that. When you've got holes in your strategy and your conversion funnel is leaking, your business loses tons of purchase opportunities and therefore money at a dangerous rate. Your conversion funnel is the path a visitor takes through your website to the intended goal. You want this path to be airtight, leaks identified, patched and improved again and again. Here we need to define the key steps in your funnel. This is a bit different for every business, but generally includes steps like visiting key pages on your website, newsletter signups, adding products to cart, visiting the shopping cart page, making a purchase, and other things like that. Once you have a grasp on the pathways that visitors are taking through your site, you then have to go into the data and see where they are straying from that path. Once you've identified those key areas of improvement, put them in a list in order of priority and move on to the next step. Step 3, create a hypothesis. Let's go way back to high school biology where we learned about the scientific method. Now, unless you're a biologist and watching this, which if you are, you're seriously lost on YouTube, you probably haven't used the scientific method since that day you dissected that poor little frog. Well, we're applying the scientific method to your conversion funnel. And by the way, it's a lot more satisfying when you're making money. So it's time to hypothesize on what exactly might improve the leaks that you identified in the last step. This is where getting outside input on your issue can be very helpful. Here are a few questions to ask yourself to narrow down your next action. What do you want your visitors to do on this page, and is it obvious to them? What are potential distractions? What are users' previous experiences and expectations for pages like this one? Is your visual design appealing and intuitive? What device are your users likely viewing your website on? From here, you can decide on a possible solution. Is the page designed too much? Maybe that buy button blends into the background. Maybe the information is overwhelming. Or maybe your mobile experience is not where it needs to be. Whatever it is for you, the goal here is to come up with possible solutions to the issues that you are trying to address. Remember, start simple and don't overcomplicate it out of the gate. Once you have 2 or 3 ideas on how to improve your funnel, it's time to move on. Step 4. Run targeted tests. So you know those medical studies where a bunch of people sign up to use the latest performance-enhancing drug? And they all think they're getting the same thing, but actually it turns out that some get pill A, some get pill B, and the rest of those suckers, fine participants, get stuck with a sugar pill. Well, that's sort of what we'll be doing in this stage, except everything we do will be geared to improving the experience of your participants, visitors, no matter what version they get. Here's where things get technical again. The 2 to 3 potential fixes to your identified problem now need to be implemented as an A/B test inside of the testing platform that you chose earlier. You'll want someone who is technical and knows the platform for this step. At this point, you'll also choose what goals you care about for the test you're about to run. For instance, you may decide that clicking on a button is the primary objective that you're trying to improve. Typically, you'll want to track one primary goal and a few secondary goals as well to give you more insight. Once you've implemented the different variations that your visitor will see and have verified that they are working correctly, it's time to start your experiment. Now, for the easiest part of all, wait. Actually, for some of us, this is the hardest part. So pop your ADD pill, grab a glass of wine, not in that order of course, and wait for about 2 weeks. That's right, it takes time to work no matter how much traffic you have. The good news is, the more traffic you have, the faster it'll go. Ultimately, you're waiting for what is called statistical significance, or StatSig for short. Each of the testing platforms mentioned will notify you when that has happened, because let's just be honest, most of us don't know what that means. But rest easy, because it's science.
Yes, science!
Step 5, launch and repeat. At this point, you will have reached that glorious place of statistical significance and have a result for your experiment. Now that result may be that you have a winner and your new button style or well-placed informational video has improved your leaky funnel step. If so, it's time to make that winner your new baseline, i.e., send it to the web developers in your basement and have them put it on your website. PSA, please don't keep your web developers in the basement in real life. Or maybe none of the alternative ideas that you had actually improved your funnel and you're feeling sad. In either case, analyze your results and start back at the beginning using the new insights that you've learned. The result will be small incremental improvements over time, which will gradually increase your e-commerce conversion rate and exponentially increase the effectiveness of all of your marketing. So stick with it. It's worth it. Remember, great brands never stop testing. Making CRO a part of your growth plan will mean you have an unfair advantage over the competition. While we were able to cover a lot in this video, there's still a lot more we left out. If you'd like to learn more, go visit metacake.com/CRO. Don't miss out on the next part of our series on CRO. Hit that bell and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and never stop growing.
Sales we hate. Oh, I never thought of that. Which one are we doing now?